Lastly, I guess when we talk about the other elements here, let me play devil's advocate because we keep hearing it from some people who might be building kind of more centralized perp dexes and the like. Sorry, perp exposure for investors. The idea of maybe being able to do the same things you could do on Hyperliquid elsewhere. And one of those things that people keep raising is kind of this fear around regulation and how that could swing. Obviously, here in the U.S., we're going to see what plays out. But the idea of having someone more strict with crypto, how do those risks maybe stack up when you're talking to investors who might say, "Hey, Hyperliquid's this thing over there in unregulated territory as a DEX." Why would that succeed when we have centralized players here, Architect, and a few others who are now trying to implement the perpetual future into traditional markets?
Yeah, really, really important question. And something that we think about a lot at Hyperion, right? So there's a few different variables to it. Hyperliquid Foundation, Chris Giancarlo, 13th chair of the CFTC, obviously works with them. They wrote an open letter to the CFTC about the value of perpetuals and why it should be under CFTC jurisdiction. I think that's really critical. I think that there are the right kind of entities at the White House involved advocating for perpetuals in the United States. Lighter is very vocal about being a US based company. They're backed by Coinbase and Robinhood. So we think that there's a multitude of signals that suggest that perpetuals will eventually be legalized in the United States. At least that's our hope. But like to speak to Hyperliquid directly, right? As a layer one blockchain, all of its infrastructure is permissionless. It is just the perpetuals component that is not legal in the US and that is geo restricted. And so we believe that everyone involved is taking the right steps to get clarity before that occurs. But the other thing that we've seen, and I just got back from CFC St. Moritz, where there's a ton of institutional participants, right? And we spoke earlier about Ripple Prime offering Hyperliquid to institutional clients, is those that see the value or the opportunity in Hyperliquid as a venue today, whether that's using it for purely the perpetuals exchange, the infrastructure, or the arbitrage opportunities between different asset classes, not just on Hyperliquid's various HIP3 markets, but between Hyperliquid and other venues, and what will eventually become as more and more players and retail become users of Hyperliquid. It's almost too good of an opportunity to not participate in. So we are very closely watching to see how the regulatory landscape evolves, but we believe that Hyperliquid has done all the right things to position itself for whatever the outcome may be. And so Hyperion itself is also advocating very strongly for the usability and general access of Hyperliquid, and we will continue to help build products that enable it to be accessible for a global user base.